Hey everybody, we're back to talk about verbs more. There's plenty to talk about with verbs because they're one of the most important parts of speech in the language. Today we're going to focus on one of the important features of verbs, the way that we can change verbs to indicate time, to indicate to the reader when an action took place. We call that quality of verbs their tense. We can change the sound of a verb, and in doing so, we change the meaning of the sentence. We change when the action that's being described took place. So we're going to cover the 6 main tenses in the English language. We're going to look at the way we could take the same sentence and change the verbs to change when the action took place. So let's start with the most basic tense, the present tense. The present tense means that the action is taking place right now. If we walked around the corner or went to Thebes or wherever it was that this action was happening, we could see it taking place in the present, right now in front of us. So here's a sentence. This is no longer a situation that actually happened in the play because I'm getting bored of those sentences. This is one that arguably would have made it better. Oedipus sings, the people dance, and Creon plays the sousaphone. Those actions are taking place in the present tense. They're happening right now. Notice, too, that the verb form changes according to number, just like we talked about in the previous video. Oedipus is singular, so Oedipus sings. People is plural, so the people dance. If Oedipus was the one dancing, since he's singular, it would say Oedipus dances. The next tense that we're going to talk about, and the one that you do most of your writing in, is the past tense. The past tense is used to talk about actions that took place at some previous point in time. So let's say that this particular party isn't happening right now. Let's say it happened yesterday. In that case, Oedipus sang, the people danced, and Creon played the sousaphone. We could also talk about actions in the future tense. Actions that will take place at some point in the future. So Oedipus will sing, the people will dance, and Creon will play the sousaphone. Notice, now that we've moved into the future tense, we need to add helping verbs. The verb will, the word will, is a helping verb that gives us more information about the verbs in those sentences. The next 3 tenses that we're going to talk about are what are called the perfect tenses. The perfect tenses are used to describe completed actions. Actions that have started, taken place, and finished. The present perfect. Oedipus has sung, the people have danced, and Creon has played the sousaphone. Those are actions that were completed already. They started and finished. We call it the present perfect because it implies that they will happen again. Oedipus has sung before, and presumably at the next birthday party that takes place in Thebes, he will sing again. Much as we hate it, Creon is always dragging out that sousaphone, so we can expect to hear it again soon. By contrast, the past perfect is used to describe actions that began and ended in the past and are completely finished with now. Oedipus had sung, the people had danced, and Creon had played the sousaphone. But that was then, and this is now. Now things have obviously gotten much worse since he discovered that he had murdered his father and married his mother and gouged out his own eyes. Oedipus does not do much singing anymore. That action is completed and done with. We also have a tense called the future perfect. The future perfect is used to describe actions that will be completed in the future. Oedipus will have sung, Jocasta will have danced, and Creon will have played. So those are the 6 main tenses in the English language. Simple present, simple past, and simple future. Present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. They tell us when an action took place and give us some strong information about whether it is a complete action, one that's been completed, or a more general action that's being described.